Real quick update on what's going on out here. So the lack of fertility out here, because I don't have an injection system like I do down at the nursery, is starting to show itself. You can see the yellowing in a lot of the crop, and like the spirea over there is pale. The ruby slippers are pale. The roses are pale. The Annabelles and the Bobos are pale, and yes, those are still alive. We had several days of 95 or 90 degree weather, so it kind of took its toll. But most notably, I believe these are wintergreens, and they are very pale from not being fertilized. So at any rate, the question was, how do I get fertility onto these things? Because the system that I have at the nursery, you've all seen it. It's a 40-gallon tank and a pump, and it all kind of runs on the water pressure provided by the city. And since I'm pumping out of a pond, my pressure is a function of that gas pump. So I did some research, and I found this stuff by a company named EasyFlow out of Texas. And so what this is 5 gallons, and I can still put the dry fertilizer in it, which it almost fills it, and then you have to top it off with some water and get all the air out of it. Then this is their control valve. You have to splice that into your line, and so the water comes through the pump, through the 130 mesh filter to kind of screen it out a little bit, through the black tube into the tank, mixes with the fertilizer. There's a dial on the top that gives me anywhere from like 400 to 1 to some stupid number like 16,000 or 600 to 1, I don't know, 1,600 to 1. And then it comes out the clear tube and it gets injected into the line. Now, to give you an idea, the stuff at the nursery, I am doing at a 200 to 1 ratio on that injector pump, but there's also a lot of math that goes on in how much fertilizer to dissolve into that 40 gallons of water that's in the stock tank. So this apparently takes that aspect of the math out, and you literally just load your fertilizer into the tank here, and it does all the calibration for you, and away you go. 400 to 1 is pretty good. These are designed to be used like every time you water. So that's why the ratios are so high, because you're doing very small doses on a regular basis instead of doing like I do, which is one big dose every so often. So I'm going to pot some plants up, and we'll get them out there, and then we'll run this thing and see how it does. And by the way, last Friday I dug this canal even further. You can see where it widens out up there, and it rained pretty good last night from Ida. So if there was ever any concern about the Lord's ability to fill Doug's hole down to China, well, here it is. So we'll be back once I pot up some plants. All right, we have some boxwoods potted up. That's the third section. Those are green velvets down there, 3 gallons. These are green mountains going into 3 gallons. Green gems in 3 gallons. Ruby slipper, again, you can tell the difference in no fertility. Gold Mound spirea. And then here's the injector. So the advantage to this injector over the one at the nursery, and this was kind of a selling point, is that there is no reduction in my water volume or my water pressure with this injector. Now, that might be the trade-off of the 400 to 1 versus 200 to 1, but when I do the injector down at the nursery, I can definitely see that my spray patterns on the sprinkler heads are not as large of a diameter. So far on this one, it looks as though there really is no change, because I always do hit to the middle of the canal there. So lastly, I just want to show you the field that I haven't cut all year. And the yellow flowers, haven't really bothered to see what they are. And the purple, and over here, of course, all noxious weeds that I get paid big bucks to keep out of people's yards. And I have 2 acres here of it. Now, maybe an acre.